Hi everybody, so this video today is going to be coffin. I'm going to actually do two portions with a coffin video. I'm going to do part one today, which is going to be a short everyday style coffin, and then the next part I'm going to do is a long coffin nail. So there's a little bit of a form switch up and structure change with a short to a longer coffin nail. So I thought I'd break it up into two videos. So for this one, we're just going to do the short version today. And then in the next one, you can pick it up and we'll do the longer version for that one. I have taken my own nails off for you so I can do these videos for you guys. So please disregard the state of my own nails, but we will slowly start picking away at them and getting them back into the shape that they're going to be. So I've got one naked hand. I will start with just my index finger today. We're going to start with cuticle prep, form placement, sculpting, pinching, and finish filing. I'm going to do a little bit of finish filing both with my e-file and by hand so you guys can see how to bring your shape together. Even if you don't have an e-file, the same filing pattern still applies. And I get a lot of questions regarding sculpting with acrylic versus sculpting with gel. The same basic structure and principles will apply. So even if you are an acrylic tech or if you're using polygel, the same basic principles apply. You just may have to apply your product a little differently than how I'm applying my gel. But the structure, the shaping, and the finish filing is all the same. Okay, so if we're ready to get going, let's get going. What I have in front of me today are the two bits that I'm going to use. I love these little ceramic cuticle cleanup bits. I buy these ones from CanadaNailSupplies.com. You can go on their website and check these out. They're a wonderful little tool. They are ceramic, don't drop them, they're going to break, but they're fabulous for cleaning up the cuticle area and they're gentle. My clients love these. And I'm also going to be using a rounded end safety bit. This is coarse and I use this for debulking after I put my product on. I just do like a nice smooth cleanup and then I hand file. So these are basically my two bits I'll be using today. These ones are available anywhere. I buy mine from todacusa.com. They're a little bit cheaper. The price is good on that website too. You are going to need your cuticle cleanup tools, a little pair of scissors, whatever you guys happen to have, pinching tools. These are super important. I say this in all my shaping videos. Form placement is key, but pinching tools do help a lot. So make sure you guys pick up a pair of pinching tools. Again, Canada Nail Supplies carries these. They're not expensive. They're like 15 bucks or something like that. Lots of other websites carry them. I think I've had people tell me they bought them off like AliExpress or eBay or whatever. So these ones I like because they self-close and you don't have to put a lot of pressure on them. So these are my favorites, but grab what you can, but Canada Nail Supplies does carry them. And I do basically most of my work for a lot of my clients with Balance Coverage Warm Pink. This is an Accents product, of course. There's the name for you. So Balance Coverage Warm Pink, this is a medium viscosity gel. It's self-leveling. I like it because it's just such a pretty color and I can see a lot easier with it where I'm applying my product. Plus, when I'm working for videos online, it's so much easier for you guys to see the pink color. When you're doing your postings for me, if you can work with the pink gel, that'd be helpful because then I can really see where your product is actually going. If you only have clear, that's fine. I also like to tell you guys, if you want to work with a thin viscosity gel, you totally can. It doesn't matter. Use whatever products you guys have that you like to work with. This is just my go-to because it's quick and easy and I really like working with it. I'm also going to be using Linkage as my protein bonder and then OptiBond as my bonding gel. So that's my little holy trinity right there. It's good stuff. Okay, so let's get going with cuticle cleanup. I'm not going to be getting into the whole Russian manicure thing. That will be a separate class all unto itself. But for basic cuticle prep, if you don't have a lot of time for in-salon, when your client shows up, they just need a good cuticle cleanup without going too in-depth and spending a lot of time, then this is what we will do. I'm just going to take my pusher and go around and push back my cuticle. This is the first step I pretty much do for everybody. I like to push this all back first. Try to make sure I'm staying in the camera here for you. Clean that all up. And I'm going to come in with my little cuticle bit. And now I'm using an Erica's MT20. So the setting for my e-file is just like a quarter or so of the way up. I don't want this going too fast. And your sound of your e-file, you guys will all know how your e-files sound. Fast, too fast for cuticle cleanup. You want it to be a little bit on the slower speed, okay? So what this little bit is great for, I'm barely touching the surface of my nail. I'm just coming along and cleaning up the excess here, getting rid of any extra gunk that happens to be sitting on my nail. And these are great little tools too for cleaning up the edges along the sides. And these are great too if you guys happen to be in the beginning stages of learning your cuticle prep. If you're not comfortable working with the advanced bits, maybe some of them are a little bit intimidating, these will not hurt your client. They're not sharp, they're not rough, they're very smooth. And they just feel like a nice little massage for your client. Okay. So let's just get this in here. I have a little bit of gel still on my nail. I wasn't able to clean that all off properly last night. Okay. So I'm just going to take my buffer block and give my nail a quick little buff. Make sure everything is nice and smooth. And we'll give it a wipe with some alcohol. Okay, the reason I chose this nail too to build out a nail on is I have a really extended nail bed because I do wear my nails quite long usually. So I will show you how to trim a form to make it fit. Form placement is key when you are doing a sculpted nail. If the form doesn't fit right, you've got a problem right off the get-go. So I'm going to take my little paper button, stick it on the back of the form, and I'm going to roll my form to start. Get a nice curve to it. It's much easier to put a form on your client when it's already curved. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm actually going to pinch my form close to start because it's easier to get that on yourself instead of a client. When it's open, I don't have a harder time. So with these forms, I'm just going to line up the little black lines here, pinch that closed. And I am going to open this up. Just for me, it's easier when I'm doing this on myself. So as I put this form on my finger, you guys will see there's a problem right away. Because I have a nice long nail bed, that doesn't really fit very well, does it? That looks terrible. So if I just stuck this on my finger and started applying product, it's all going to ooze down in the sides and nothing's going to fit. And that is as far as I can push that form on that finger. No go. So we are going to do some trimming. What I'm going to do, you can use a hole punch. Some techs use a hole punch to do this. I just grab my little scissors and cut. I'm going to cut a U shape right in here and open this up. So now this will sit better on my finger. Don't be afraid to customize your forms and make them fit. See how much better that is? Way better. Now I just need an extra pair of hands here. There we go. Sorry guys, trying to see this in the camera and get this on my own finger can be a little challenging. Okay, so now this is much better how this fits. I can feel it curving all the way around my fingernail. So I'm just going to pinch this close at the bottom and all the way to the top. Now, when you guys put your forms on your finger, make sure that this is coming off straight, okay? If you're angling your form up, for this application, we don't want to see that. We will for the other application when we're doing like an extended coffin, but for a regular straight everyday coffin, we just want this to be a nice straight form. If your form is angling down too much, you're going to have a huge problem. You're going to end up with a nail that's got a hook in it. So make sure that when your form placement goes on, you are nice and straight, okay? Really, really important. Also, you want this to be coming down the nail nice and straight as well, okay? Super important that everything is straight. If your form's crooked, your nail is going to be crooked, especially with a longer length, okay? So make sure that this is good. I am going to take a few pictures along the way with this class, and I'm going to post them up on our Facebook page. Oh, that reminds me, sorry guys. We have a Facebook page for our group. I will show you that right now before I forget. It is called The Nail Files Robin Schwartz Students. So after you guys have purchased this class, you can go on to this page, request to join, and then as you're doing your work, post your photos on here. I'll help you with the class, make sure that you have no questions or something weird is going on. I will help you all the way through your sculpting classes. So request to join, there's a few little questions you have to ask, and then we'll add you into the group and away we go. So this is where you guys can post all your work and I'll help you. So don't forget to do that. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to wipe my finger down again here with some alcohol. And I will do one thin application of linkage. This isn't a necessary step, but I really, really like this product. I found that it's been really great for treble lifters. Some people swear by Young Nails Protein Bond. Everyone has a different thing that they love. So I like the linkage personally myself. That's my choice. All right, I'm going to apply a thin layer of OptiBond to my nail. This is my bonding gel. Okay, and we're going to go on the light. Now I am using my Accents Hybrid Pro lamp, so it is a 30-second cure. If you're using your UV lights, do your full cure that you usually do with your lamp and your product. All right, let me get my lid off of my gel here. Isn't this a beautiful color? I love this. It's a great, great coverage pink. I often do a lot of sets with these and just leave them, which I will show you at the end how it looks. It's amazing. Okay, so for the average client, I find that just wants like a shorter set of coffins. I'm going to do a length out to about here, like maybe between the S and this first line. If somebody wants a set of coffins that's this long, you can't really get the proper shape and structure. You can give them a tapered square as close as you can, but basically a coffin nail needs to be, to get the shape anyway, at least out to here. So I'm just going to go a little bit longer for you guys. For this one, you don't need to go super long, but for the next nail that we do for the coffins, I will require some length. So if you just want to make this one like the average shape that you normally would for a regular coffin client, let's make this one a little bit shorter today. So I'm going to start by sculpting out the free edge first. Now, the one thing I do want to bring to your guys' attention, I see this a lot. This little portion on the side gets missed a lot. People don't bring their product down far enough. And what happens is this creates a weak spot right in here. The nail is going to be weak, the gel is going to break, and your client's going to have a broken nail. So when you're doing your free edge application, make sure you bring your product all the way down to the side and come straight up. Okay, I want this little gap completely filled in on both sides because it's very, very crucial that that little spot be covered properly. I see it so much, and then people say, oh, my nails are always breaking. Well, yes, there's no product there to keep it strong. So make sure that you're getting all the way down to the sidewall and that little gap is fully covered, okay? It's very, very important. So what we want to see with the free edge for a coffin is essentially a tapered square, okay? So let's just get our length here first. And this layer we are going to pinch. I don't need it to be super thick. This is just a layer to build out some length, and then we're going to pinch it, okay? So a coffin, we're going to come up on a little bit of an angle on the side because we're going to create a taper. And same with this side. Just come up a little bit, create your free edge shape and straight across. Okay. So I do like to refine my shape first before I go in the light. It's just that much easier at the end, so you're not chasing everything around for finish filing. And that way you can see a lot better, a lot clearer what you're actually looking at right away. Okay? So we're going to go in the lamp just for a few seconds, and we're going to freeze cure that. So about 3 seconds or so. Now what I will do is pinch this. This isn't a bad little shape, but I want to give it a little bit of a tighter curve. So I'm going to take my pinching tools, and I'm going to start right here at the free edge. We've got a fairly decent curve here because our form is fitting properly. So I want to start at the free edge and bring that in nice and tight, because the whole point of having a coffin nail is that you have that nice tight structure. So we're just going to bring this into a nice pinch. Now, with these pinching tools, I'm not just letting them go. I'm still keeping some tension on them, keeping them open. If I just like flat out let these go, it will pinch the form too much and we're going to lose our shape. So the ones that do self-close, they usually have a pretty good spring on them. Make sure that you don't just smack and let them close. Now, if you're going to be pinching where the gel meets the natural nail, do not let them close. It's going to be way too much pressure on the natural nail and it's not necessary. So just hold them a little bit and keep them open, but a little bit of pressure. And you will see this gel start to form into a taper. And when you're happy with what you've got and you see that the gel is not springing back, then you can go ahead and cure it. If your gel still feels sticky or tacky, or you see it start to spring back when you release the pinching tools, it's not quite cured enough. Pop it back in your light for a few seconds and then check it again. Okay? So I'm happy with that. We're going to go in the light for a full 30-second cure or 2 minutes, whichever you have, and then we will continue on with our sculpting. The one thing I do want to talk about, it's been a lot on Facebook and Instagram lately, is that people are asking what kind of light cures everything. There is no such wonderful thing. I don't know if you guys have seen articles by Doug Schoon or Elaine Watson has started talking about these things. You do need to make sure that you have your lamp that works with your gel product, because stuff is designed to cure with each thing. So because I am using the Accents Hybrid Pro, I'm using it with my Accents line, please check your lights and make sure that everything is compatible with everything else, okay? So now if we're gonna sculpt a coffin, they are a little bit higher in the back, and they're going to be a straight shape all the way down to the front. So when we place our product, I'm going to put a bead of gel right towards the back, and I'm just going to kind of pull it forwards. And then the shaping is the sides are really straight and angled in both ways. Okay, so we're doing a tapered square. If any of you guys have ever taken my shaping classes before, you know that how I like to structure my nails, and I think most people are doing it this way too now. Everything goes towards the back of the finger. We are not placing our apex, arch, whatever you want to call it, at the stress area anymore. We're doing it towards the back of the nail. So by doing this, it creates a sleeker, longer looking nail. We're going to add a lot more strength. So as this grows out and your client misses her fill, say she has to go 5 weeks in between, she's not going to have this bulk of product sitting right in the middle of her finger. It's going to be towards the back and it have that much more strength. So if this grows out, it's still going to grow out really nicely. Okay. So what I've done is I've just placed a bunch of product right at the back here. I'm just going to wipe that little bit of excess off my brush. I'm just going to clean up around the cuticle and make sure that it's tidy. And this might look like a ton of product, but I'm going to move it around. So what you guys need to get used to doing is floating your gel, floating your product, and make it work. I don't want to see like pat, 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 dab, dab, dab. When you do that, you're creating air bubbles and an uneven surface that you're going to have to chase around forever, okay? So float your product and it will be your best friend. So I'm just going to slightly start pulling this product forward. Now, if you're working with a thinner viscosity gel and it won't let you do this, Do a thin layer at the beginning, cure it, and then go back and start shaping the exact same way that I'm doing right now. If you need to work in a couple of layers, you totally can. I'm probably going to have to come back in and add a little bit more gel. So I think I'm going to freeze cure this and then come back in and add a little bit more product where I have a few lows. So I'm just going to check my edges again. We don't want any product touching the skin if we can help it. Make sure it's all gone before you start your curing process. Okay, so I do have a little bit of a low here. I'm going to throw a little bit more product on that. One of the wonderful things about gel too is that you can just go back and add more product and it just blends perfectly together. It's great. And I'm just floating this around back and forth. I'm not pushing it, I'm not pulling it, it's just a floating product. It's wonderful. Okay, so there's our side view. I do have a low spot right here. I'm going to freeze cure this for a couple seconds and come back and just finish up that shape. Now, depending what product you're using, you're probably going to get a little bit of heat. Don't worry about that. Take your time if you need to freeze cure. Go in and out a few times. Just as long as you follow your specific instructions for curing time and everything is good. So I'm just going to fill in that little spot that I needed to, right here. I'm going to check my sides, make sure I have enough product everywhere. Okay, so there's our pre-filed nail. I'm going to pop this in the light for the full 30-second cure. And we will let that do its thing, and then we will come back and finish file it. And I'm just going to clean up my mess a little tiny bit here while that's curing. Oh, the brush I'm using is the Oval 111 by Accents. It's a really great little sculpting brush. Gets into all the little corners that you need, and it's not too big and bulky. All right. Let me grab a quick picture of this. So when you guys are taking pictures for me to post on the page, make sure you take as many angles as you can. Show me your form, show me your free edge, show me your sculpt, your finish file, all that wonderful stuff. Take as many pictures as you can so I can see what you guys are doing. If there's an area that we need to tweak something on, just show me basically as much as you can. That would be super helpful. Okay, so I'm also going to be using a 100-100 curved file. I love these guys, they're great. Again, personal preference for whatever kind of file you want to use. All right, so basic steps for finish filing any shape is you do the free edge first. That way it gives you a nice visual as to what you are actually doing. So a coffin nail is super, super straight across, very straight. No rounded edges, really, really, really straight. What I see a lot with beginners, people are beginning to start to learn their shaping, your file tends to wander, okay? It goes like this, it goes up and around and the side to side, and you end up with like a crooked free edge. Make sure you are super straight with your filing, okay? You have this wonderful foam center. Use this as your guide if you need to make sure that that line is matched up with your finger, okay? So straight across. Next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to bring in my sides onto a taper. Now, what we've done is because we put our apex towards the back here, we can actually fake out the free edge of our nail and make it start right here. So the apex is going to start right here, and we're going to create a nice long length on the side. Okay, so I want you to make sure that your your file is really, really, really straight for this part, especially on your non-dominant side. Everyone's got, if you're right-handed or left-handed, you're really good at filing on one side. The other side tends to be a little bit weaker. You don't have as much control. I really want you guys to maintain your file control very well on both sides. And I also don't want flicking going on. I see like this, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to wreck this nail, but I'll do it on this nail because I don't care. This, I see a lot of like this, tucking off to the side, or just quick motions. Like, don't do that. It's annoying and it ruins your shape, especially when we're doing a shape like this. So make sure that your filing is very, very straight on both sides. And you can see what we've created here now is this. We have a nice tight tapered square, and our apex is starting right there at the back. Okay, so this is what we want to achieve, is this look here. Super, super straight file, all right, on both sides. Okay, and there's our C curve. Granted, we have to thin it out on the top, but this is what we want to see for just a little basic coffin structure to start, okay? So I'm going to switch my bits and go to my rounded ended safety bit. I'm going to put my E-file about 3/4 of the way up. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just do some simple, quick movements, and this is going to allow me to bring in the shape that I need so I don't have to finish file too much, okay? So I'm going to start at the cuticle area here. And this is why I like these rounded bits too, because you can get right in here and it doesn't do a single thing to your client. Okay, so I'm going to come right in at the cuticle, clean that up. I'm not going to touch the center part of the nail yet. I'm just going to work on the back and the sides. So what I'm going to do first is come down on the side. I'm going to come down straight and on a bit of a V. Okay, can you see where I've filed there? I'm going to come in on this side. Just going to get rid of the dust here. So if you can see, I brought in both sides here. And then I'm going to bring my E-file across the top of the nail. And I'm just gliding over the top here. And I'm blending in the two sides. Get rid of the dust. Okay, so you can see how that's taking shape now. Sorry, I'm going to make you guys seasick. I bumped my light there. All right. So a couple little simple motions with your E-file and you're halfway there, okay? So I'm just going to come straight down now along the top this way a little bit. All right. So let's finish hand filing from here. So I'm going to check my perimeter edges again. Okay, make sure this is straight, and this is straight. Always important to check your perimeters, make sure that everything is still lined up. Make sure that's coming out directly from there as it should. Same on this side. Okay, and I'm just going to take my hand file now and do the exact same filing pattern that I just did with the E-file with my hand file, and I'm just going to tighten everything up, okay? So I'm going to go around the cuticle area, and I'm using the rounded side of my file to do this. Go all the way around in a nice sort of U-shaped, C-shaped motion, all the way around that way. Sorry guys, I forgot I had to get back in the camera there. I'm going to come all the way around. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I need to file my nail straight. Okay, so I'm going to keep in contact from here all the way down. I'm not going to touch this section right in the middle. This is a no-go zone right here. We want to keep that where it is. I'm going to keep my nail file straight in contact all the way with my nail. And I've got it angled in this way. I'm going to come straight across all the way to the top, and I'm going to angle it in that way. Okay? So I'm going to go angled, and I'm going to come all the way around the barrel of the nail, straight, 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 that way, and then I'm going to come this way. So by doing this, we're tapering in the sides. We're going to go straight across the top, and then tapering on that side. Now by doing this, what this does is creates a nice straight shape, tapers the barrel, and gives us a nice long lean coffin. So we're kind of doing a triple duty here, all by doing this filing pattern. And look, we still have our height back here that we need to smooth in. So I'm just going to blend this in. Now across the top, and make sure we get rid of that big hump. Okay. I'm going to take my blue buffer block, I'm going to go smooth over this whole nail, get rid of any scratches that may be here. I'll get rid of the dust on my hand here. Okay. Now I just kind of need to straighten that out a little bit more right there. And there's our finished coffin for you guys. Not that hard. Once you get a filing pattern down, you will be much better off. But this is sort of like the average length that I do for most of my clients, just for a cute little coffin. That's one of the most popular shapes that I do, and I can get a set of these done quite quickly. And then if you want just to like a color on top, a little bit of glitter, fun design, this is a very popular shape for everything that I'm doing right now. Now I'm just going to thin out a little bit right here underneath and get my C curve out just a little bit right here. Whoops. Bring that, there we go. I just had a little tiny low spot right on the bottom, which is much better. There we go. So there's our basic little coffin. Nothing too extravagant, nothing too over the top. Average length for most of my clients, I would say right now, is about like that. It's cute, it's coffin, it's strong. If your clients don't like the word coffin, you can say, oh, would you like a tapered square? And they say, actually, yes, I would. That sounds wonderful. So you give them a tapered square, and it's the exact same thing. It's great. Okay, so post your photos up on the page for me, for you guys, and we will make sure that you are comfortable with a simple little coffin, and then you can move on to doing a long tapered coffin. So check us out on the Facebook page, and I will add you into the group. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I'm just going to grab a few pictures here really quick for you guys. Grab a photo of your C curve, and I would like you to grab a photo of your sides for me. Okay, and we are good to go. So thank you guys so much for checking in on this video, and I will see you for the long coffin. Bye guys.